It's Sunday, January 29th, and I wanted to record a channel update to post on my channel because I haven't done a range vlog in all of 2017. It's already near the end of the month and I haven't been to the range to do any kind of range vlog activities. The reason being is of the poor weather, and not because the weather's been so bad I don't want to shoot, is the weather has been so bad that it's made the ranges inaccessible. So West End Gun Club, in order to get to the range, you drive down surface streets on regular roads, and then you go off-road onto like a creek bed and pretty much dirt roads up into the range. Unfortunately, the rains in the past few weeks have made that creek deep, so you can probably cross it if you want to risk it to get to the range. But I've seen some of the stuff that the members have posted as far as the creek depth, and so I pretty much haven't gone. And then not this weekend, but last weekend, the rains have been so bad that they had to shut off, for the forestry service had to shut off the surface roads that lead up to that unpaved road. So you can't even get to the creek bed to even see it. So the range is pretty much inaccessible. There was supposed to be a match at Camp Pendleton this weekend, but the rains have been so bad they actually flooded and damaged the Wilcox Range 103 that we use for our matches. So I've seen photos of that, and the range is pretty much wrecked. Part of it's usable, but I think the 600-yard line, they showed there was a lot of water damage. Some of the berms had just pretty much eroded, and so they have to rebuild those berms. So that's pretty much the state of affairs as far as why I haven't shot anything in January. Not to mention, during the week, January is the busy time, at least for me, because of SHOT Show. So I lose a whole week because of SHOT Show. And, the Christmas holiday break kind of bled into that first week of January. So haven't been able to get to the range, pretty much due to work, weather, SHOT Show, and range weather damage for the accessibility to the range. So that being said, I had mentioned in my last range vlog of 2016 that I was going to try to cut some video at SHOT Show. Like I said before, I usually do an article or a series of articles, which I did post. I did an 8-part after action report of SHOT Show 2017 on my blog at ocabj.net. So definitely go read that. I do a lot of photography there. As far as cutting video, I had brought my microphones in the intent of possibly recording some footage, and I did get some clips, but I wasn't able to do sort of a vlog type activity at the SHOT Show simply because it was just too hectic. I saw some guys doing it on the show floor, and they're just loud and kind of obnoxious, but that's how it is. But I didn't want to do that. I was trying to find little corridors and hallways where I could do sort of talking to the camera type deals without kind of impacting people around me. And I'm going to try to splice some of that together and include this on this channel update, and hopefully it'll integrate well. But I'm going to try to cut some footage as far as showing it off on this video and to just kind of describe SHOT Show. So I'm out here in front of the New York Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm here for SHOT Show 2017, and if you're watching this, I'm trying to record a little bit of footage to get into a vlog assembled. I wasn't planning on doing a vlog, but I'm gonna see if I can record enough footage here that I can put something together to post on YouTube. So we'll see how it goes. It's a little bit past 6:30, so I'm heading over to the Sands right now. I'm not sure if I'm gonna walk over there or if I'm gonna Uber or what, but I need to get something to eat. The press room opens at 07:30, and they usually have kind of snacks in there, but I'm probably not going to count on that because a lot of guys usually rush in there to take up all the food, and it's like limited amount of little pastries and coffee. So maybe I'm going to go to Starbucks beforehand. There's a Starbucks over in these little shops next to the Bally's, and it's an actual official Starbucks. It's not one of those fake casino run Starbucks shops. So the one over in the Bally's will accept my card or my rewards cards and whatnot. So I'm probably going to head over there. It should be a short walk from here.
Time is 07:20. I'm hanging out at Starbucks. SHOT Show starts at 08:30, but pretty much the press room's open at 7:30. I'm gonna go head over there a little bit. I'm at the Valley Starbucks. There's basically a Starbucks right behind these shops on the strip next to Bally's, and so essentially I'm just gonna head over to the press room. There's not really much to do in the press room short of there's gonna be breakfast or like little pastries and coffee and whatnot. And like I said earlier, usually there's a lot of people there, and so it sells, or like it doesn't sell out, but it just goes away pretty quick because there's so many people trying to get food there. And then they usually have press kits there, but it's a lot of the press kits, because they keep the press kits in the press room for people who are too lazy, or like me, or not too lazy, but just want to be efficient and not pick them up during the show when they're walking the exhibition floor. So you can go back to the press room and pick up press kits there. So sometimes, but for the most part, I guess those press kits that they keep in the bins at the press room are usually not available for all the manufacturers. So some manufacturers don't have a representative who bring over the press kits to the press room. So a lot of times you just have to get the press kits off the floor. So I guess in that respect, it's not as efficient as they would hope it to be. But a lot of times they'll also have like USB keys and whatnot for those media kits there. So it's nice to be able to pick up those keys from the press bins in the press room. So I'm here at the SHOT Show. I'm in the third floor of the Sands Expo. I'm outside of the press room actually. Press room is pretty packed. If you saw some of the footage I just inserted before this clip, a lot of people are in there. A lot more people than I expected usually on the first day, because most people I expect are flying in early this morning or late last night and probably slept in. That's what I usually expect. Or people got drunk last night and are kind of just hungover and sleeping in, which is usually the case in Las Vegas. Anyway, I need to get a badge holder because I got my badge here with no badge holder. And the problem I've had in previous years with SHOT Show is, or recent years rather, is they keep increasing the size of the badges so they don't fit into my traditional credential holders that I usually carry around. And so I'm going to score one from the booth. They have bins around here with badge holders, but I'm also going to go to the Geisley booth first because they're giving away camouflage badge holders. I know my friend Mark wanted one, and I was going to get like another one just to use during the show, because the Geisley badge holders are usually pretty good. They make them pretty well, and they give them one for free, so why not take one? I also inserted a little sequence earlier. A little shortcut into the Sands Expo is way you can get in is via the Harrah's. So if you're not in the Venetian, which is the flagship hotel for the Sands, because if you're in the Venetian or the Plaza, you can just walk downstairs and into the Sands. But if you're staying somewhere else at another hotel, especially from the south of the Strip, the easiest way to kind of get in here if you're walking up or just driving in is to park at the Harrah's Hotel or in a hotel parking lot just south of Harrah's. Then what you could do is come in through the Harrah's Casino, go out the back towards the lobby. The lobby is technically in the back of the hotel behind the Strip. And you can just walk in the parking garage and across the little service road into the Venetian is it the Venetian or the Palazzo parking structure, and you can walk into the Sands Expo from the elevators. So you're just going to go up the elevators through the food court of the Palazzo or Venetian. I can't remember which hotel's which, but go through the food court, cut through the little promenade, and you can go right into the Sands. So it's kind of a shortcut, and I used to use that back in the day when I was trying to be cheap, and I would stay at the Harrah's Hotel for $70 a night. You can just go to the Harrah's and just come out of the Harrah's into the back entrance of the Venetian / Palazzo and get to the Sands Expo. But the Harrah's Hotel is actually more expensive now because I think people realize that the Harrah's is right next to the Shot Show or next to the Sands. So the Harrah's books pretty quick, and so I think they kind of gouged or increased the price of the Harrah's rooms during Shot Show, because why not take advantage of that?
So logistically speaking, just to give you an idea of the magnitude of SHOT Show, this is a map of pretty much just part of the SHOT Show. So we got level 2, and this is pretty much one of the primary exhibition halls. And you have a couple of these smaller exhibition halls for the law enforcement and tactical type things. There's also the next section, which is kind of the up and coming companies that are new to SHOT Show. And then there's also level 1, which is of the Sands, which is also all of these booths, in conjunction with another smaller room in level 1 for more law enforcement stuff. And you have a little product center and whatnot for the new product center to show off the newest products. So SHOT Show is definitely huge. Definitely bring comfortable shoes.
So as far as the day 1 SHOT Show summary, I really didn't cut too many clips later in the day because my battery was starting to die after shooting a lot of clips. So I was afraid that I wouldn't have enough battery life to shoot enough stills. But tomorrow I think I'll take a little bit more video than I did today, because it seems like I know how to manage my battery a little bit more. Anyway, hopefully we'll cut into more clips for tomorrow, day 2.
Give me like 1 second to get my gear up. So it's day 2 of SHOT Show. I'm pretty much gonna run through a lot of booths where they're having some celebrity appearances today, and I'm trying to finish up some stock photos that I need to write some reviews, or rather some coverage of the show on my blog. So that's pretty much what I'm doing today. As far as new products are concerned, haven't seen anything, any of the news bites to entice me to go to a specific booth per se.
But I'm just going to run the gamut and try to find everything I can, and we'll see how it goes.
And have a great day.
Good morning, that's awesome.
As I mentioned earlier, I tried to find corridors or small areas where it's kind of quiet and away from the show floor to kind of vlog some during the show, but I only got a few instances where I could get time and an opportunity to do that. And so, as you saw, the lighting is terrible. I was using my EM1 Mark II with the microphone on the hot shoe, and I didn't bust out my lav mic, which I'm using right now. And so it's kind of hard to record, and I admire the people who are actually able to do this kind of guerrilla type vlogging. I admire your ability to do that. I just can't do it. But I tried to do it, and as far as carrying on some of the opinions from that, there's not much else to say about SHOT Show other than what you saw in that footage that I was able to splice into this channel update. I was able to, I guess, pick up the Vickers Guide AR-15 by Larry Vickers. I had him sign that. I was at the Knights Armament booth. I lined up. There's a ton of people lined up for that, and you did have to pay for it. It wasn't free. It was $90 for the book, and it was signed by Larry Vickers and Knight. I can't remember the guy's name. His first name, Knight of Knights Armament, the guy who started it, and so he signed it, and that was pretty cool. The books are good. I mean, it's an expensive coffee book. I mean, it is like a table book type thing. Not much text, obviously. It's a huge type of just photography documentation type reference book. So if you ever buy coffee book type things on stuff like watches, like I get those occasionally. It's a nice book, but $90. You know, a lot of people, actually quite a few people, were stood in line, thought it was free, and then when they got close to it, they found out it was $90, and they just kind of stepped out of line. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, $90 is a lot of money to spend on a book for a lot of people. So I wanted to get one since you're a SHOT Show. You might as well do it since not a once in a lifetime, but odds are you're not going to be able to get that book signed by Vickers anytime soon. So I picked it up. But that being said, as far as SHOT Show 2017, if you're not going to read my after action report, there are a few points I wanted to make note. First off, 2017 SHOT Show, it's always at the Sands Expo. It's been there for the past 6 or 7 years now. So it's pretty much the same kind of layout. as far as new stuff, nothing enticing for California folks because we can't buy a lot of, and we pretty much can't buy most of their new pistols that are released, or all the new pistols are released, simply because of the restrictions that California has placed on handguns that are legal for sale here. Microstamping is a specific criteria, and nobody does microstamping. Rifles, kind of boring as far as the industry is concerned, because people who are coming out with new rifles are doing AR-15s, and AR-15s, what can you do? You reconfigure an AR-15, make a new specification, oh, I'm gonna add key mod rails to this, and we'll call it a different model. There you go, that's what they release. Or companies who don't produce ARs are coming out with ARs, i.e. Savage Arms and then Springfield Armory coming out with AR-15s. That's kind of boring, because if you're anywhere well enough to understand AR-15s, you can build them yourself, and you don't really buy factory guns. So that is pretty much the state of affairs as that's concerned. Bolt rifles, some interesting stuff out there, but nothing really groundbreaking. So as far as new firearms are concerned, it's nothing exciting. If you buy a lot of pistols, or if you're obviously in a free state where you can buy new pistols, there's a lot of new things out there, like this Smith & Wesson MMP 2.0. The Ruger American pistol, I think, is kind of new. No, it came out last year. The new Ruger Mark IVs are awesome. I totally want one, because the way you can break them down to clean them is excellent, the new mechanism. So I would totally buy one of those, but I can't. So that's kind of my feeling as far as new products there. But then again, there's also more things out there aside from firearms, because the firearms industry is huge. I mean, there's optics, so there's new stuff out there as far as optics. New Nightforce scopes, US Optics came out with their new revisions. Sigkilo 2400 rangefinder. I put all this in my blog article, so definitely go read that. As far as coverage, I had mentioned in my blog article, my after action report, that I bought a new camera. So I'm actually using my Canon 5D Mark III to record this little channel update. But I usually bring that DSLR to whenever I go to SHOT Show, because it is my best camera and it does great in low light situations. I don't have to run a flash if I don't need to. And so it does good enough in indoor conditions, in the crappy lighting conditions of the Sands Expo, that I can just run high ISO and then run noise reduction on the photos if I need to. And I have good enough journalistic and documentative photos for SHOT Show through my DSLR. But that thing's heavy. I run it gripped. I could run it with no grip, but it's still going to be sort of heavy carrying it around to show with my backpack and all the bags that I use to carry the swag in, or whatever documentation or literature I pick up. So I wanted to go small, and I actually wanted to run my Olympus EM10 Mark II, but this thing has kind of had durability issues. I've sent it in twice for service. The battery door broke actually a few weeks ago, which I'm probably going to post on my blog somewhere, or in the review of my EM1 Mark II, which I haven't gotten to yet. But so I was kind of scared to just bring this camera without a backup to SHOT Show. Assuming it didn't break, I think I would have been fine with this, to run it indoors with no flash and just running high ISO and noise reduction. Micro Four Thirds is good enough for that kind of stuff. And so I kind of wanted to run this, or Micro Four Thirds, instead of my DSLR. So instead, what I looked into buying a new camera, and since Olympus came out with the EM1 Mark II in October of last year, I weighed the options, and I said, you know what? I kind of want to go deeper into Micro Four Thirds, and so since SHOT Show's coming up, and I don't want to carry my DSLR, and I want to run Micro Four Thirds, and I don't trust the EM10 Mark II, I'm going to go ahead and buy the EM1 Mark II. So I got the Olympus EM1 Mark II, and I ran this with the 12-40 f2.8 Olympus lens at the show, with the primary battery and a secondary battery for backup, because Micro Four Thirds runs through battery like crazy, at least on this. And so I shot this at the show, and it worked great. I had great photos at the show, and I felt that running ISO 1600 with this camera on the Micro Four Thirds sensor, with the noise reduction, if I needed to, worked great. And so I had no problems running it at the Sands Expo with their crappy lighting with no flash. I didn't run any flash because I don't have one. It does come with this little mini flash, but I don't really care to use that. I could have run my 580X2 wirelessly and just kind of held it in one hand and just shot with this hand, but I didn't do that. I just ran it all available light there, and it worked great, and I'm pretty happy with this. And I have to write a review on this, which is going to take me a while because I kind of still want to use this in other things besides just standard stock photography stuff. But that's what I ran at the SHOT Show. I ran this, I kept this as backup, and I really only busted this out to take one or two kind of other photos, but I pretty much ran this at SHOT Show as my only camera, and it worked great. So I guess going through some notes at SHOT Show, nothing really I wanted to bring up. I did mention that I was going to get some swag out there for you guys. I didn't really pick much up because I hate carrying stuff, and so if I ever saw any small items, I kind of threw them in my bag. I picked them up and then I threw them in my bag if there was anything available for like some little Glock keychains and stuff. Some Geissele. I didn't pick up any stickers. I just too lazy to pick up stickers, and I hate having to keep them flat. But I have enough to kind of create a few swag boxes, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do just one big one or a couple of small ones. I'm still debating on that, but I'm going to put all that together, and I'm going to do some kind of giveaway. I haven't figured out how I'm going to do it. I don't know if I'm just going to do some sort of random draw or if I'm going to have like a little kind of Easter egg hunt in a video or on my blog so that whoever finds it is the first dibs, but I'll figure that out soon enough. As far as the show in general for next year, my opinions are, I hope that SHOT Show, I think it's actually, in previous years, SHOT Show has been the same week as Martin Luther King holiday, so that Monday is kind of a holiday type thing, and then Tuesday is like the first day of the actual SHOT Show Expo, or the SHOT Show exhibition floor. But I think next year is the week after Martin Luther King, so I'm not sure if they kind of shifted stuff over, because coincidentally, a lot of stuff happens during SHOT Show. There's like a bunch of kitchen home shows. World of Concrete's a huge show. The AVN, the Adult Video, I don't know what it stands for, but basically it's the adult convention, the adult industry convention. That goes on during that week as well. And so there's a ton of people in Vegas during that time. And so the SHOT Show, and every year in the past 3 or 4 years, the room rates have increased progressively, and it is really expensive this year. And I ended up staying at the New York Hotel Casino. I've never stayed there before in my life, and it's an okay casino, and the rooms are okay. They're kind of dated. When I say dated for Vegas, they're kind of dated for the Strip. It's a little bit older. The room didn't have very many plugs on the desk. Usually I expect like a kind of a power bank type thing on the desk, so you can like plug in all your stuff. They didn't have that. So anyway, I ended up staying there because that was like the least expensive of all the hotels I was willing to stay at. Monte Carlo was a little cheaper, but half of that casino was shut down because they're renovating it, and so I didn't want to stay there. Luxor, I'm not a fan of Luxor. Plus, it's way down south on the Strip, and I didn't want to have to like figure out how to get from. Well, I guess it wouldn't have mattered because I Ubered most of the time anyway. So I did utilize Uber a lot. You did see that in the SHOT Show footage that I spliced in here. And so I hope next year the little, I guess, collision of all these events don't cause the hotel rates to be high again. I remember getting decent rooms during the show for less than $100. I was staying at Monte Carlo one year. I stayed there for $75 a night on average, and I got one of their just one bedrooms or one bed suites, which was pretty good. It was 900 square feet, not huge, but it was really good for $90 or $75 average, maxed out at 90 with resort fees. I could stay at Vdara for under $200. I think I was averaging 180 there with the corner suite, or the I don't know what they call it, but it's their panoramic suite, I think what they call it. That was under 200, and if you never stayed at Vdara, that's a great hotel. You've got they were supposed to be condos, but then the housing crisis hit and nobody was buying them, so they converted to a non-gaming hotel. But it's excellent rooms. You've got an excellent bathroom, or 2 bathrooms actually, depending on what room you get. a tub, shower. You've got a full kitchen with a fridge, dishwasher. I think there's washers and dryers in there. I mean, you get a dining table, a living room. It's excellent rooms, and those are under 200. I mean, before this year. So I'm hoping next year the rooms starting to scale back as far as their pricing. Not to mention the MGM casinos. For those that don't know, all the MGM-owned casinos, they charge for parking now. It's $10 a day. And so that adds up. Even if you're a guest, it's $10 a day. So it's getting pretty bad as far as hotel costs. They're trying to make up for it because no one gambles anymore. So it is what it is. So I'm just hoping next year the hotel prices kind of get reined in, because it's starting to get pretty pricey, especially for those who have to do air travel. I mean, it adds up. So those are pretty much my thoughts on SHOT Show. And then this channel update was kind of impromptu. I'm running errands and whatnot, so I decided to just go ahead and cut this while I'm here at the office. For those of you who know me, probably can recognize this is where I'm in the office right now. So that's pretty much it for the channel update. I'm hoping to get a range vlog cut pretty soon. I know today I got an email from West End Gun Club that they're doing, they're gonna, hopefully, I think they said they're hoping the road is actually open that leads to the road to get to the range. So they're gonna do, assuming the roads are open by the Forestry Service, they're gonna just go ahead and do what they can to cross the creek and do an assessment on the range and hopefully do repairs if they're able to drive through. And then, use the dozer and then the backhoe to like re-grade out the dirt roads. And hopefully next month, February, I can actually cut a range vlog. I need to get some trigger time because I haven't hit the range. And I wanted to at least get out there and put some rounds down range. And then that's pretty much it. So that's it for the channel update. Hopefully this made sense, or this kind of cut well as far as the video is concerned. It is Sunday, January 29th. Until then, hopefully I can get a range vlog cut, or hopefully I can get to the range, and hopefully I can post a range vlog next month or in the next couple weeks.